Podocarpus is a unique tree species because it has a structure similar to each other in terms of plant height and leaf size, although it is already 250 million years old. The plant is said to originate from South Japan and East China, can also be found in several European countries, and people there call it the monster tree, growing a lot among bushes. Podocarpus have 105 different species, and to some people it is known as the Buddhist pine or fern pine, but it's not from the pine species family. In the Putrajaya Botanical Garden, there are two types of Podocarpus trees that attract the attention of visitors. They are Macrophyllus and Rompii. The Podocarpus tree is a plant from the Antarctic plant life category, a flora that grows in cold and damp area, but through millions of years of evolution, it can grow in hot climate areas. Now, the trees are shady with heights between 2 and 4 meters, thus enabling these trees to be commercialized. In Hong Kong, for example, Podocarpus have a high market value due to the people's belief that there are plants that have positive feng shui when grown in the home area. In Europe, they are made into fences for the farms and homes. The trees also produce reddish fruits. At the Putrajaya Botanical Garden, Podocarpus can be seen in the Solar Park. The trees look normal like other trees, but who would have thought they are 250 million years old and have been planted and exhibited in Malaysia. However, because of the difference in the weather of its country of origin, which experienced 4 seasons, while the weather in Malaysia has equatorial climate, the trees do not bear fruits. What started off as a hobby to fill their spare time turned to become an additional source of income for these two creative young men. Doodle art or free sketch technique that's applied on the surface of a car by the two young men are done without the aid of any computer technology. Mohammad Yusuf Shaharuddin never thought sketching freely on an adhesive surface using black or white marker pen that's applied on his own car could open a door of business opportunity for him. He acknowledges it's not easy to produce doodle art as it requires precision, but being able to give a fairly high satisfaction when the customer is happy with the outcome. Mohammad Yusuf said doodle art is actually small, connecting sketches, and doodle art theme concept is about spontaneity. Meanwhile, Mohammad Al-Hafiz Al-Baqi said, spending long hours preparing a doodle art panel is not a waste of time. Rather than being involved in unwanted activities during spare time, enjoying doodle art brings a lot of benefit to youths like him, such as added income, making new friends, and the joy of seeing a high number of friends come to make bookings for the doodle arts on their cars. The doodle art sketches produced by these two creative young people are delicate and beautiful, and customers highly value the outcome of their work. Authorities in Nakhon Si Thammarat province recently organized a mock royal groom procession relating to the history of the province to raise money for the renovation of Wat Pra Mahatat Wahamaha Wihan temple that will be proposed for a World Heritage listing in the future. The ceremony reenacted the procession of King Sita Maskorat, a former king of Nakhon Si Thammarat, who wedded Pranang Luet Khao. The ceremony included 12 other couples who acted as people from the colonies of Nakhon Si Thammarat. Foreign couples from Malaysia, Singapore, the Philippines and European countries also participated in the ceremony. The mock grooms procession started from the city pillar of Nakhon Si Thammarat. They rode tricycles on the Raja Samon road to Pra Wahat Mahatat Waramaha Buyan temple, and a band of drummers led the procession. People who acted as relatives of the mock brides joyfully received the procession and danced with the drum band. Songpol Sawaditam, Deputy Governor of the Nakhon Si Thammarat Province, headed the groom's group, and Mrs. Wani Jiwarasan, President of the Red Cross Provincial Chapter of Nakhon Si Thammarat, headed the bride's group. The ancient groom's procession of Nakhon Si Thammarat, called in Thai Kan Mak Patom, copied the history of King Sudosana's wedding with Queen Maya. They were the parents of Lord Buddha. Such processions used to be organized in the southern province to raise funds for the renovation of local Buddhist temples. An event showcasing weird and wacky shoes was held recently in the southern Vietnamese city of Ho Chi Minh. For shoe lovers, this is paradise. Cabinets were fully packed with some of the latest footwear designs from Vietnam and around the globe. They included a rather striking green boot called Spring Scenes. Pop singer Lady Gaga, a fan of wacky shoes, would have no problem if she came to the shoe fair looking for a new pair to strut on stage. In fact, one of the designs being shown off is called Poker Face, after one of her hits. The red and green leather knee-high boots stand on a 10-inch platform and are decorated with hearts, diamonds, clubs and spade images. Elsewhere, the Shoes in Leather Vietnam 2013 exhibition is this design shaped like a kneeling woman, which is made of fornica. Fornica is a light and scented wood local to Vietnam. Vietnamese designer Duong Ngoc Lan Chi said it is designed to represent hardship that women have to go through in life. She was inspired by the beautiful curves of a woman's body and applied the nude art techniques to transform it into her shoe design. She added it is to honor the beauty of women and to encourage women to always keep their heads up despite all the difficulties. They may not look like the easiest and most comfortable shoes, but it seems they are easy to slip on. Designers are showing off environmentally friendly designs at the exhibition. It seems the children's shoe industry is also doing well. Designer Tran Phuong Tam, who has been working in the industry for 10 years now, started to design footwear for the younger generation to meet demand. It says the children are very fashionable nowadays. Some of them have very good taste when it comes to picking up accessories for their outfits. Vietnam's footwear industry is thriving, with exports totaling around $4 billion annually. The country manufactures footwear products for big sports brands including Nike, Adidas and New Balance. People in Vietnam love drinking coffee. Traditionally, it has been the drip type with a filter placed over a cup to create the best beverage. But now there's some new kids on the block, Western coffee chains, and it seems a battle might be brewing. Tea is popular in many Asian countries, but here in Vietnam, it is coffee that's the favorite palate pleaser. It has been the beverage of choice since the 19th century. The culture kicked off when the French arrived in Vietnam and coffee plantations expanded. To meet the domestic thirst for coffee, the country now exports around 1 billion tons of coffee beans every year. It recently surpassed Brazil to become the world's largest coffee exporter, netting Vietnam around 3.7 billion last year. Coffee industry leader, the Trung Nguyen Group, owns 55 cafes nationwide and dominates the roast and ground coffee product market. The group also owns a 5-hectare coffee plantation in the central highland province of Dak Lak, which is dubbed as Vietnam's coffee capital. Its chief executive officer and founder, Dang Le Nguyen Vu, says the Vietnamese drip coffee offer is unique. It has attracted people around the world. He says Vietnam is among the countries with the most prominent coffee culture in the world, besides countries such as Italy and Turkey. The French brought in the coffee filter, but it doesn't exist in France anymore. Vietnamese coffee, made from potent Robusta coffee, packs a stronger caffeine wallop than European-style espresso, which is made from Effet Arabica. It is brewed in a single filter where dark brown coffee drips onto condensed milk, which offset Robusta's slightly bitter taste. It's often taken from 5 to 10 minutes to make a Vietnamese coffee. It is a time-tested coffee tradition. The beverage is enjoyed hot or cold by mixing in ice, depending on seasons and individual taste preferences. The Vietnamese coffee is strong in flavor and taste. It's not weak like the imported ones. Waiting for the coffee to drip through the filter is relaxing and gives you time to either catch up with friends or talk business. But this traditional type of coffee is facing some new competition. More and more international chains offering Western-style coffee are setting up shop in Vietnam. US giant Starbucks, the latest to arrive, opening up its first store in Ho Chi Minh City, the country's southern economic hub, in February. It is taking on homegrown coffee businesses which have established themselves on street corners. But with the cheapest cup of Starbucks coffee on sale for 75,000 Vietnamese dong or $3.5, a Western-style coffee is expensive for most Vietnamese, whose average annual income is only about $1,500. It does not seem to be putting people off though, with queues regularly forming at Starbucks. Starbucks' upmarket brand is appealing to the growing Vietnamese middle class. More than 60% of the country's population was born after the Vietnam War ended in 1975, and there is a good demand among this generation for branded goods. Starbucks already operates more than 3,300 stores across 11 countries in the Asia-Pacific region, and its entry into Vietnam marks the latest salvo in a campaign to woo Asia's emerging middle classes. Cambodia will start exporting rice later this year to Brunei Darussalam for the first time, according to a deal signed recently between officials in Phnom Penh. With its first shipment expected in November, the Baitong Rice Export Company and the Federation of Cambodian Rice Millers Association will send 3,000 tons of fragrant rice to Brunei, the smallest of the 10 member Asean states, with a population of a little more than 400,000. Brunei Director of the Department of Supply and State Stores at the Ministry of Finance, Pangeran Haji Mohammed Nordin, said the Brunei government, in accordance with the policy to diversify supplies and sources of rice, has agreed to buy some Somali, the Khmer wood for fragrant rice, from Cambodia. He said the one-year contract is a trial scheme. The price is set at $1,020 per ton. The deal's amount places Brunei among the top 15 exporters of Cambodian rice, according to official data. Rice exports have increased 127% to just under 147,000 tons in the past 5 months of this year when compared to the same period in 2012. The output is well on its way to smashing the figure of about 205,000 tons for the entire 12 months of last year. Brunei Darussalam welcomed the month of Ramadan by firing the 12 cannons at the center of the capital. The month of Ramadan is awaited by all Muslims in the world because of the holy month is full of blessings. The firing was conducted by the members of the Royal Brunei Armed Forces Regiment Police, held at the Taman Haji Sri Muda Omar Halim Saifuddin in Bandar Sri Begawan. Meanwhile, nightly Sunat Tarawih prayers and Tadarus were held at all mosques, surahs and in the country. Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was narrated by Bukhari. Anyone who glorified the month of Ramadan by praying at night because of faith and hoping for the blessings of Allah, so Allah will pardon all his past sins. The Tarawih prayer was followed by the reading of Al-Quran or Tadarus. During the month of Ramadan, Muslims are encouraged to read the Al-Quran and zikr in order to get close to Allah the Almighty. Visiting cemetery is also customary for Muslims in the country during the month of Ramadan. It is because it can remind the visitors of death and the life in this world is only a stopover. Apart from giving multiplied rewards for their religious deeds, Ramadan month also offers the opportunity to small entrepreneurs to gain side income. The stalls is the focus of the public, particularly Muslims, to buy delicacies for breaking of the fast. Among the popular foods are pulut panggang, roasted fish and chicken, while the beverages are chendol, kausar and sugarcane. The stalls are open from 1:30 in the afternoon. Such stalls not only attract Muslims who come to buy items for breaking of the fast, but also non-Muslims who found it the best opportunity to try various seasonal food and cakes.